Leader of BNP's volunteer wing has been shot dead in Dhaka. The incident took place near the Superstar Hotel in Karwan Bazar, close to the Bashundhara City complex, a crowded commercial zone in central Dhaka around 8:30 p.m. Now, another person was wounded in the shooting and rushed to hospital for treatment. Authorities said the injured individual's condition was stable. Additional Deputy Commissioner of Tejgaon Division of the Dhaka Metropolitan Police, Fazlul Karim, confirmed to local media that two people were shot in an alley beside Star Kebab in Karwan Bazar. Musabbir later succumbed to his injuries at a private hospital in the Panthapanth area. He had suffered a gunshot wound to the abdomen. Bangladeshi media outlet The Daily Star reports details of the killing are still emerging. I have Brian Thomas joining me with more details. Brian, over to you.
Well, Azizur Rahman Musabbir, a youth affiliated with the opposition Bangladesh National Party, was shot dead in Dhaka's Karwan Bazar area amid a sharp escalation in political violence ahead of Bangladesh's first national elections since the ouster of Sheikh Hasina. Very importantly, this shooting took place near the very Superstar Hotel close to the Bashundhara City shopping complex, one of the busiest commercial hubs in central Dhaka. Then this incident was confirmed by Fazlul Karim, Additional Deputy Commissioner of the Tejgaon Zone, Dhaka Metropolitan Police, and according to police, assailants opened fire at close range, injuring two men also, Musabbir and another individual identified as Sufyan Biapuri Masood. Both were rushed to the BRP hospital, after which one of the injured was even referred to Dhaka Medical College Hospital for treatment. Even Musabbir, who sustained a gunshot wound also to his body itself, succumbed to his injury, unfortunately, before reaching the hospital, as police stated. And then Sufia Biapuri Masood, meanwhile, was injured in the attack, but is now reported to be out of danger and is in stable condition.
All right, Brian, thanks for joining me. Now, Azizur Rahman Musabbir, a youth leader, was shot dead in Dhaka's Karwan Bazar area on Tuesday night. This comes amid intensifying violence in Bangladesh ahead of national elections. First since ousting of former PM Sheikh Hasina, this incident is an addition to other killing incidents including Osman Hadi, Motalib Shikdar. Let's take a look at who exactly is Azizur Rahman. Now, Azizur Rahman Musabbir was his full name. He was 45 years old and was a former leader of the Swachhas-e-Bak Dal, the volunteer wing of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, while Sufia Biapuri Masood is the General Secretary of the Tejgaon Thana Van Workers Union and a resident of Keranigan. Azizur Musabbir, hailing from Shariatpur, was a BNP-backed candidate for the councillor post in Ward 26 of Tejgaon during the city corporation elections in 2020. His family lives in a house on Garden Road of West Karwan Bazar, and according to family members, Azizur Rahman Musabbir was the eldest among three siblings and had spent much of his time in jail during the Awami League regime and was arrested multiple times in connection with several political cases. I have Ambassador Veena Sikri, former High Commissioner, Bangladesh, joining me on the broadcast. Ambassador Sikri, how do you see this killing?
I must say that this is yet another example of the extreme violence, complete mobocracy and anarchy that is prevailing in Bangladesh. All the leaders which the Jamaat-e-Islami thinks are going to oppose them or are likely to get some votes, they are being shot dead one by one. In fact, so in addition to being shot dead, there are many BNP leaders whose nominations are being refused, who are not being allowed to stand because their nominations are being rejected on some grounds or the other. So I think in this kind of an atmosphere, holding elections really doesn't seem to carry any weight or any meaning at all, because these elections are being totally undercut by extreme violence. And it's easy, somebody will say, oh, but it always happens. This kind of violence has never happened before any election. These elections are not inclusive. This is one of the problems. So the people are just not willing to vote because the Awami League is being left out. So they have to first look at the inclusivity of elections and simultaneously look at this violence. I don't think anybody can have elections in this kind of an extremely violent situation where every day people are being shot dead, and this is a BNP leader, so the Jamaat, who is fully in charge in Bangladesh, they are trying to get only their people elected, And it's really a very, very sad and unacceptable commentary on what is happening in Bangladesh.
Now, Ambassador Sikri, do you feel that, political violence in Bangladesh carries a broader implication for stability in South Asia?
Certainly, I think if you have this kind of election which is not inclusive, the violence will continue, the instability will continue, definitely. And it has implications for all of South Asia, because when you have a country, Bangladesh was prospering, they had 6.5%, 7% rate of growth, they were going to graduate out of the LDC status, and now suddenly, within 18 months, they've been plunged into extreme economic, depression. They're absolutely going downhill. The growth rates have halved. That itself is causing so much unhappiness and uncertainty among the people. And in addition to that, you have the political violence. So there's a kind of the killings, the absolute rejection of the nominations of people. So it's a situation which really cannot prevail, which cannot be allowed to continue. And they have to, there's an illegal, unconstitutional government. Actually, Mohammed Yunus says no way in which he can preside over the elections, because he's not a constitutionally appointed figure. And even according to the caretaker system, which is now being reintroduced into the constitution, it has to be according to that, the immediate past chief justice or any of the other categories. So I think all these factors have to be taken very much into account, and we have to see that how these elections are really right now just being geared up for one objective, and that is the Jamaat-e-Islami wanting to come to power. That's all.
Ambassador Sikri, thank you for joining me on the broadcast. And now Malaysia's anti-corruption agency has detained 5 people, including the country's former army chief and his 2 wives, in an ongoing military contract